Hey, thank you for joining us for Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We're glad that you're with us. We appreciate you rocking with us. And, as always, we worked hard to make sure that we got a dope show to give to you. And we just can't thank you enough for joining us every week and telling your friends. We're seeing the love that's, just coming our way. And we really, really appreciate you for it.
Oh, yeah. I'm hyped about it. Excited, jumping up and down. Because, this has turned into a first-class professional podcast radio show. And actually, it's been that way since day one. But it's even more enhanced, specifically with the music news that you bring and so on and so forth, and the guests that we have. So, hey, it's a good thing.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of which, we have Prissy joining us. She coming through to chat with us about all the good stuff that she's got going on. And of course, we got more music industry news for you, sprinkled in with some beats produced by me throughout. So, I'm excited to go ahead and jump in and do what we do. How about you?
Oh, yeah. And be on the lookout, in various places to see some of the flyers and info that we got circulating around concerning the one and only Achickwitbeatz and her business, Miss Business. And so keep an eye out for that, so you can do some reading, but you can hear a little bit of the beats at the same time. So just get ready for that.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, let's go.
I am just hyped today. I'm always hyped, but I'm extra hyped today because our guest is a young lady who is making a trail in so many different directions. Okay, and so without any further ado, we're going to let her tell her story. We're not stealing any of her thunder. The one and only, hailing out of North Carolina, the North Cackalack, the one and only Prissy. Prissy, how you doing today?
I am doing fine. I feel amazing being able to talk to you guys. Tell my story.
Okay.
Glad to have you.
Yeah. Glad to have you. Okay, so now, share a little bit about who you are, and so our listeners who haven't become familiar with you can become familiar with you.
Okay, my name is Prissy, and I'm from North Carolina, small town in North Carolina called Tarboro. I'm a small business owner. I do quite a few things. I'm in love with music and classic cars. I'm a natural hairstylist and an auto body tech. I'm also a lowrider. I like to do things totally different from, I guess, the norm. I like to go into the male-dominated industries and just be me. I just love singing. I love singing. That has gotten me so far. I do have a business name, Prissy Painters Inc., INK LLC, and that was established in June of 2017. This is where hair and the car world collide. That's why I call it Prissy Painters Inc., because of my history with hair and cars. I'm an avid classic car lover. Mainly what I do is I like to help people. I love to make sure people are okay, whether it's physically, mentally, or spiritually. And with my products, my hair products, it helps with a lot of people with cancer and other autoimmune diseases. I have had the opportunity to work in the cancer center here in Tarboro, where the actual cancer physician, they approved my hair oils, which is one of my main products in my product line of Prissy's Inc. They approved my hair oil for cancer patients. I'm still on the journey, hoping to connect with people so I can get this product out here and push it further. Also, with my music, it's a healing thing for me. It's therapy for me, given that I've gone through quite a few things over my short period of lifetime of 42 years. Going through divorce, going through, being in a wheelchair. I had to walk through my own process of my hair falling out, different types of things. And I just want to be an encouragement and a help to others.
Wow. You know what? You have said quite a mouthful there. And I mean, we can go in so many different directions just based on your opening introduction and description of yourself. Okay. Now, one of the things that you said that caught my attention is that you say you like helping people. And that is just jumping out. That's obvious. Okay. So, people need help in many different directions. And so now what led you in that facet of your life?
That part of my life, I think just going through sicknesses, different illnesses, being in a wheelchair, trying to figure out how can I restore my hair? Because I know being a woman, your hair is everything. And just going through that emotional journey alone of just not knowing what's going on with my body, I had to go take an approach of holistic medications, learning how to eat differently, learning how to find different herbal medications to beat it, because the doctors told me I was in a wheelchair for a year and I was in diapers and they didn't know what was going on with me. So at first they thought it was lupus, then it went into, well, maybe it's just fibromyalgia. So that process in itself, I had to learn how to live all over again. They told me I wasn't able to have children. I have 3. They told me I wasn't able physically because of later on in the years that what my body had gone through, I wouldn't be able to do auto body. So it's not what people tell you that you can't do. I'm a firm believer in God, and that with him, all things are possible. And obviously my life speaks that. Just going through divorce, going through abusive situations, you can make it. You can make it. I want my message every day is to look at people, even if they don't know my name, if they just be around me, just to have an upbeat attitude, and just to allow people to see that it's possible. It is possible. Even if they can hear my music, that it will be such a healing release during that sound that it will bring forth a hope. I'm sorry, I may have gotten off track, but
that's okay. That's okay.
Bring hope for people.
Yes, ma'am. Wow. Okay. Achickwitbeatz, man. Come on, man. That's a heck of an opening. That's
Seriously.
a double.
Yeah. A lot of times people kind of just focus more on the talent side of it. We talk to a lot of artists, and what do you want people to get from you? But the fact that that like you're actually offering and providing like healing through singing, that's a really, really, really powerful thing. So hats off to you for already having your own stuff that you were dealing with, but still to be able to reach out and help other people. Like a lot of times it's easy to kind of just withdraw into yourself, but I just think the fact that you just want to share positivity and brighten other people's day is just a really, really beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And you dropped the fibromyalgia word in there. Okay, so we don't want that to just slide by for those who don't understand just the significance of that. So can you take just a few seconds to explain to the listeners just what that means?
Yes. Fibromyalgia, practically what it does, it mimics, the last time I read about it, it mimics at least 13 major diseases, and it affects your nerves and your muscles. And your memory. I experienced the severe memory loss. I experienced the nerve issues, the nerve pains, the muscle part. You literally have what I've experienced, muscle spasms from your neck all the way down to your toes. You're on a scale of 10 or more. I've had so much excruciating pain in my past that when I was in labor with my son, my doctor was like, "Why didn't you come sooner?" I'm like, "Sir, I couldn't feel it." So it affects you on so many different aspects. It changes your life. It affects the people around you. It is very debilitating. If you don't, I'm gonna say, you really have a strong will, and I'm a strong will person, but I think my worst has already happened. But it changes your life, even down to your thinking. It can cause depression. Been there, done that. It got to a point where I couldn't retain information. Going through, my first spouse had PTSD due to being in the war in Iraq, and how I coped, I have no clue. I began forgetting everything. I had to write everything down. I didn't think I could go through school, and I made it through school. It was just determination, and I know it was God. So, like I said, to bring forth healing for other people, to help people that have gone through some of the things that I have experienced, that is like something major for me. But fibromyalgia, it is, wow. It's something to deal with.
Wow, especially if you didn't notice the labor pains. Anytime I go to a doctor and they ask you about that pain scale, that's the first thing that I equated to is how my labor pains felt back when I was pregnant. So, man, yeah, you gave a good example of what you were dealing with there.
Yes.
Man.
Okay, now another phase is, before we get to the music, another phase is your involvement with lowriders. We're talking about the cars. We're talking about the antique cars. We're talking about the muscle cars, or the ones that just look good. Okay, so now share that phase with our listeners.
Yes, I love to do things unorthodox, and that is so exciting and uplifting to me. I love classic cars. Oh my God, it's just like being in, so to speak, heaven on earth when I'm in this arena with the lowriders. Shouts out to all the North Carolina lowriders, and also Tina on the West Coast. She's an OG. I would love to be like her when I grow up. Oh my God, she has I think it's a 64 classic baby blue game killer. That's what she called her. It looks like something Snoop Dogg would drive. That's uplifting for me. It really helps. It gives me an adrenaline rush. So the other things that goes on with my body, I don't have time to think about it. Out of the state of North Carolina, I'm one of 2 Black women lowriding, and that's something major to me. Representing North Carolina, I got North Carolina on my back. I'm an auto body tech, so 2013 I had the opportunity, 2011 I had the opportunity to go to school, and it's something amazing when it comes to seeing old cars, like I call it graveyards, in yards, and it looks like they cannot be restored, and they actually can, just a little time and effort. And I view people the same way. Restoration, even though sometimes we as people, it might be a drunk on the corner or somebody on drugs, people look down on them, but they have breath in their body, they are able to breathe, they have purpose. So just a little time and effort, people are the same way. We can be brought back to that original state, or even that better version of ourselves. And that's what it's all about. But North Carolina, here I come. I'm working on a 1999 lowrider, which is a town car, and it's called a turtle in the lowrider world. And I recently had the opportunity to meet some wonderful people, maybe about 3 weeks ago in Raleigh, North Carolina, at an USO picnic, which is one of the major car clubs worldwide. So I'm looking forward to more.
Awesome.
The lowriding, actually, the passion for me started for classic cars with 7 years old. My dad had a 1974 Monte Carlo, and I was hooked then, but Snoop and Dr. Dre are responsible for my lowrider craze. Even though at 14, I was here on the East Coast, but that video ain't nothing but a G thing.
Oh, okay. Now, as we bring some icing on your cake, share with our listeners about your music endeavors.
Right now, with what I did when the pandemic came in, I started using an app called the Voicey app, VOISEY, which, since I didn't have access to a studio, this is what I did for relaxation when I got laid off. So the freestyles, if I hear music, that's it. If I can't go to sleep, it's just like the words keep coming. So I freestyle a lot. I love to harmonize. I have the background of being in church. My family are musical on both sides. My father and my mom's side of the families are musical. So it's just a passion. As I was saying, it brings forth healing for me. It's therapy for me. And my hope is it still goes back to people that what I'm releasing is something that'll help others to go through whatever they're going through. I talk about real subjects. I even try to rhyme a little bit. I get into a little rapping. I love the 90s music, so And I love the Lauryn Hills and Jill Scott, Shaka Khan, Earth, Wind and Fire, that type of music. But it's just a healing thing. It comes directly from my heart when I release music. Okay.
Okay, so now you're talking about therapy, you're talking about healing. We got all these people all around the world. So, I mean, I know you didn't expect me to say this, but, can you come up with like 20, 30 seconds of something off the top of your head that you've done before, or even if it's impromptu, so our listeners can hear and feel what it is that you're talking about?
Sure. Let me think of something right quick. I'm trying to think of something quick that I can.
Healing on demand. Yeah.
Oh, I just got. Okay, I'm coming, y'all.
You good?
Something that I did that I would love to share. Oh. I love to write about love and pain and how I saying this is something I want to just drop the ball. Sometimes I wonder to myself. Sometimes I wonder what the hell. Why you keep putting up with his man? Why you keep putting up with that stress? Sometimes I wonder why. Sometimes I wonder why. Sometimes mess. Sometimes what the hell? Why go through the stress? Sometimes. A simple song called Sometimes. And it pretty much talks about things that we just go through. We don't have to go through. We just put up with it just because. And that's something that comes from my heart, because some things that I have gone through and some things that I go through, I know that I have a choice. So we have a choice, and we can end things if we'd like to, whether it is a relationship, whether it is someone disrespecting us, or just putting up with a regular unnecessary negativity.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Okay,
Yes.
So now how do people follow you? Where do they follow you at?
You can find me on Instagram, on IG, and that is Prissy's. Prissy, PRISSYPS_INK_. That's Prissy Peas Inc., which is my business page. And also on Facebook, you can follow me under Prissy Painters, which is Google, or search me under Prissy Painters Inc. LLC.
Okay, now there's something you left out, and since you won't say it, I'll say it. You got there are hip hop artists, rappers, singers. There are people all over involved in the entertainment industry that have not wanted to seek you out, but they have already sought you out to collaborate on their music.
Yes.
Okay. So now, if somebody wants to connect with you on how to do that, is there an email address or a place that they can connect with you at?
Yes, actually, my email is pretty long, but actually under the IG, you can hit the email link under Prissy Peas Inc. Other than that, it is PRISSY Painter, PAINTER@gmail.com. And I am looking forward to, I love live music, and I do have a dream to do a live band or do covers. I am looking forward to doing that, and I'm definitely looking for collabs. I would love to collaborate.
And you've got plenty of them on your IG page, so people can hear what's already been done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, look,
I gotta say though, I mean, your voice is just so phenomenal. So thank you for sharing with us right here on the drop of a hat. So yes, beautiful song, beautiful voice, and yeah, just appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
And the clock on the wall is saying that this short time was really short because you made it go by extra fast. But your story is quite heartwarming for the things that you experienced in your life. And I can already say right now, we want you to come back in the future to keep us abreast of what's going on. And we'll do everything we can to lead people in your direction.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. And so the one and only Prissy joining us right here on the Music Marbles broadcast, and right here with Achickwitbeatz and myself, Breezy Gipson. So Prissy, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow, what a tremendous time. I mean, she's just a beautiful person, and I'm so delighted that, you know, she trusted us enough to share her story and her energy, and it was just really, really great having her on the show.
Yeah, you know, and you know, there's a lot going on with her, and it's all good. She's an overcomer, that's for sure. And oh man, but you know, it's a woman power week, you know, and you and her are headlining that week this week. So, you know, hats off to her, hats off to you, you know, and hats off to the women around the globe who are out there on the grind, doing their thing, making things happen, and educating folks in a lot of different manners. So, oh yeah, big deal.
Yes. All right, we're gonna take a quick beat break, and then we'll be back with music industry news right after this.
Okay.
back with music industry news. And, it's always so many different stories going on. They're in all these different places. So, we try to make it simple and pull everything together kind of in one spot so you can be informed of what's going on. It's a lot of stuff out there that might be focusing on, some of the personal things that artists and stuff have going on. And there's nothing wrong with checking that out. But, there are also a lot of stories that are out there that don't necessarily get the attention that they should, that can actually help you with your careers depending on what you're doing. So, we know that most of our listeners are artists. And so we try to make sure that we bring those impactful things that you can at least be aware of, possibly learn from, and, generate your own ideas or find a way to freak some of the ideas that are out there to make them work for you. So here we go. DistroKid is now valued at $1.3 billion after funding from Twitter Investor Insight Partners. So this 1.3 valuation puts them up in the $1 billion plus club. So they're next to where TuneCore is. So, they say the parent company of TuneCore is Believe, but, everybody knows about TuneCore. Even people who don't make music have heard of TuneCore. And so now DistroKid is about on that level. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what comes forth from them. I personally know a lot of artists who use DistroKid and really, stance like they swear by it. So, they've confirmed that they now have more than 2 million artists on their platform using all their tools and services that they provide. So, be on the lookout for stuff like that. It's really good to know about various distributors, because most of the time with artists who maybe you've got a lot going on, you're busy, you don't have time to kind of check into all the different options that are out there. A lot of artists kind of settle for some of the bigger names, the ones who have more money to do the most advertising and whatnot. So, hopefully this story will benefit somebody who's maybe looking to have options, because there are many digital providers out there for distributors. So yeah, it's a interesting thing to pay attention to and watch what's going on.
Yeah, keep your pens and pads going, or your tape decks rolling or whatever, because this segment right here can really educate you to the fullest. Now, give me that figure, throw that figure out there one more again. How many artists do they have on their platform?
Over 2 million using it. So yeah, definitely something, maybe you want to join the ranks. Like I said, I do know a lot of artists that love them as a distributor. So definitely something to keep in mind.
Shazam, 2 million. Oh man, I can't say anything. Go, just move on to the next before I get subdued with that.
Getting excited, yes. All right, now this one, kind of had me feeling that way too. Like I could probably talk about this for a while, but Black Thought of the Roots is bringing back School of Thought. So it's a free 4-day masterclass that's happening in October from the 25th to the 28th. And it'll be 10 MCs that get to learn the art of rhyming from him. So they'll be focusing on technical skills like, lyricism, flow, style, delivery. And yeah, it's going to be in Carnegie Hall. So just imagine being able to learn from a legendary, incredibly skilled MC like that in a setting like Carnegie Hall. For free, mind you.
Don't know, now you know, because there's a lot of young cats, young heads out there. They may never even heard of Carnegie Hall. So do your research. And once you do that, you're going to be like, Shazam. Wow.
Yes. And so, for those of us that aren't in NYC, apparently he is planning on bringing it to some other locations as well at some point. So yeah, be on the lookout for School of Thought from Black Thought of the legendary Roots crew. So good stuff coming. Speaking of good stuff coming, there's a new chart on the books. So Logitech and Billboard have teamed up to debut Songbreaker chart. Now, the big deal about this is the first creator-centric music chart. So this is showing the content creators' ability to take these songs and make them go viral. So the people who make these memes and dance challenges and, amplify the stuff that's going on social media, if they're getting in more traction, most of the time those songs will end up charting because of what the content creators do. So now this chart will actually be featuring those content creators that are helping break music into the charts and making things go viral. So this is a new thing. It's unprecedented, and it will be really, really interesting to see where this goes.
You know, I mean, does it ever cease? No. I mean, so you got to zone into this broadcast and zone into this news that she's bringing, because, you know, I mean, we're going at a record pace in the world when it comes to unsigned artists and what's going on, even signed artists, and business. That's a heck of a combination.
It really is. And so, you know, just a word to the wise with this new chart going on, depending on how things go viral, if you're an artist yourself, that would be a great idea to make sure that you get in on this. Because if you start charting as a content creator, that could bring more people to your platforms who want to listen to what you're doing. So that's a free little nugget for you. I'm just throwing that out there, something to think of. You know, get your creative juices flowing, do whatever you need to do to kind of jump on this. Especially while it's new, it's going to be, you know, garnering a lot more attention right now. So, yeah, just a heads up and a word to the wise. All right, and Reservoir. So, you know, they're a music rights company, and we've mentioned them quite a few times on the show. And if you notice, if you've been following along, or even if you haven't, anytime we bring them up, they keep making these big little moves that it seems like it's not really getting a lot of attention, but it definitely should. So just for the second quarter of the year, they generated $16.7 million and paid out $6 million in songwriter royalties and publishing costs. So, I mean, they have been making some major strides, making sure that creators get paid. And so it's definitely a company that you want to keep your eye on. They are public, so that's why this information is so readily available. So with them being public, that means that you can invest, you know, stocks, all that good stuff. But yeah, the last big tip of news that kind of went around that did get the attention that it should have was that they had acquired Tommy Boy for around $100 million back in June. And so as soon as they acquired Tommy Boy, one of the first things they said was that they were going to work with De La Soul to make sure that they could get their music back on the streaming platforms. And that's exactly what they did. They gave them their master rights back. So yeah, pay attention to Reservoir every time we mention them. It's not that frequently, but every time we do, they are making some major strides on the behalf of the creators. So, you know, a lot of music companies, you always hear these stories about how they're ripping artists off left and right. But yeah, everything we've shared has been for the benefit of artists coming from them. So make sure you keep your eye on them. Like I said, they are available to invest in. So definitely check that out if that's something you're interested in.
And as I've said, and we've said plenty of times before, now, you know, the companies are out there. So you on the beginning level or intermediate level or even advanced level, you got to work your craft now. Don't go step into these companies and you're unprepared or ill prepared. Work on your craft 24/7 and get people to critique you and then work some more and grind some more. So by the time you go to these folks, you're razor sharp. And then on the other hand, put yourself in the business end. So it's not just all about recording or being on stage. You got to do some business ducking in there, and your wealth can be developed rapidly. So just a nugget.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we're going to take another beat break, and we'll be back with round 2 of music industry news right after this.
Okay.
round two of music industry news. Universal Music China is planning a major expansion of local recording operations. So their goal with this is to create what they're calling a multi-label structure to try to, hone in on its focus for local artists in China and kind of buff up their A&R there. And it's just pretty cool. We've been talking about how a lot of these music markets have been in existence, but they're starting to get a little more traction from the different streaming companies that are out there. So they're still considered emerging markets, although they've been going strong. But, with them getting some more worldwide attention, it makes sense that Universal is making this move. And so, definitely something to keep in mind. I know that we say this a lot, but just in case you're listening for the first time, make sure that when you choose a distributor, they can get you in a lot of these different markets, because it's really important to realize that life is a lot bigger than the US. So yes, it's one of the largest music markets that's out there, but there are so many more to keep in mind. So if you want to make sure that you can be heard, then think bigger than the US.
Absolutely.
All right, MTV and the Smithsonian are exploring Black women and sex and hip hop with a new digital series. So it's called Meaning in Music, and it's going to investigate hip hop's influence on trends, politics, and society at large. It's a 5-part series that started on Monday, and it's available on the Smithsonian's YouTube, Facebook, MTV's social media platforms, and all that stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, check it out. One of the big things that they had while advertising it was the picture of Megan and Cardi B for the WAP, because that was blowing up social media once that had dropped last year. And so they're going to kind of talk about that and how hip hop is always been a trendsetter and sparking debates and conversations about different things. So it'll be kind of interesting to check this out. I haven't had the opportunity to just yet, but I am really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. So, shout out to the women.
Yes.
Shout out to the women.
Yes, absolutely. All right, and Memphis Record Pressing drops the needle on a $7.5 million in expansion plans. So this thing could add hundreds of employees with the average salary of $36,000. If they do this, it'll make it the largest manufacturer of vinyl records in North America and one of the largest in the world. So far, the company's volume has quadrupled from 1 million records in 2015 to 4 million in 2020. Right now, it employs 137 people in a suburb of Memphis, but the expansion, they're trying to add a logistics facility in Memphis. So the sales of vinyl records have increased 108% just in the first 6 months of 2021. So, that's just like according to the industry publications and stuff that have been circulating out there. But, it'll be great for multiple reasons. One, for adding jobs and stuff. They could have went elsewhere with it, but they chose to stick with where they were. So, shout out to them for that. But, a lot of independent artists have been experiencing this problem to where they try to put out vinyl records, but these pressing plants are so just overwhelmed that it takes months and months before they're actually able to get the music out to the fans. So that's been creating a problem between artists and their fans. So the fans want the music, they pay for it, but then they have to explain, well, yeah, it's been 6 months, but the pressing plant's still overwhelmed. So with them adding, a logistics facility, hopefully this can help ease some of that. And it'll be easier for you to get your music to your fans who really want it.
Hey, that's some strong stuff. That's
Absolutely.
strong, strong stuff.
All right, and that does it for this episode's edition of Music Industry News. So we're gonna take another beat break, and then we'll be back to close out the night with you.
Okay.
Okay, and that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. Once again, we can't thank you enough for tuning in and rocking with us. We really appreciate you. And I'm just looking forward to doing this again next week.
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to that man, Sean Cobain, and a brother named Sherm. So he's got some things rocking on with us. So shout out and to all the listeners. We couldn't do anything without you. So you are who drives us, and so shout out to you guys.
Absolutely. So, okay, you know where to find us. Till next time, tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.